Hello everyone, my name is Christian, welcome to my hobby blog. Today we are doing our first video in the January 2022 package from Vinegar Syndrome. So I am a subscriber now, if you haven't had the news yet. So I get every release now from Vinegar Syndrome. So without further ado, we're just going to go through and kind of show each package or release from this package. And we'll read the back of it just to kind of give you guys an idea of what the movie is about. So the first title that I got in this package, it's not in any particular order, but this one looks really awesome. This is Master of the World. This is like a caveman horror movie or something where from what I've heard, it's just like grunting the entire time, and there's some really cool characters here that look like pretty. I like this person a lot, and there's a guy holding like a bear's head. So, and there's some pretty explicit nudity here. It's not like too raunchy in my opinion. So hopefully I don't get flagged. But there's some decapitated heads on this part of the slipcase, and then it comes out like this. I did flip it over to the alternate art. It doesn't really, it's not your traditional alternate art that you see from Vinegar Syndrome, but still looks really, really cool. You get our hero, Bog, holding a person's head, a caveman's head. But from what I've heard, most of the dialogue is just grunting, so we'll see how that goes. But this is what it looks like on the inside. You have the disc on this side, and then you have the normal kind of cover here. But so this is just Blu-ray. This is not 4K. There may be a DVD. I don't know if Vinegar Syndrome even does DVDs. I don't see anyone who gets DVDs. But the bio reads, at the dawn of human civilization hundreds of thousands of years ago, war was a ray of life, with rivaling tribes and vicious nomads transforming the earth into a non-stop bloodbath. Bog, a young man who dreams of being the leader of not just his tribe, but all of human civilization, begins a bloodthirsty quest for domination, wherein he'll need to fight and conquer both man and beast to truly ascend to the power he so desperately craves. This is a 1983 film, so it's about 40 years old, and it's called an ultra gory Italian Cashin, which is based on popular action and adventure films from the olden days, from the Stone Age. But this makes me think of your Hunter from the Future. So I'm really excited to watch this. It looks pretty awesome on the disc, or at least on the slipcover here. It's really nice and compact. So the next release here that we have is one that I've seen a lot of people recommending, and Joe Bob Briggs even did an episode on this film. I'm talking about, of course, Dead Heat. I love that slipcover with the zombie hand and the police badge, and the little spine looks great. There's a weirdo holding panties and a cop pointing his gun at him. And the little subtitle here at the bottom says, "You can't keep a good cop dead. ... ellipses." But I did flip it around to the alternate art, which looks pretty cool. Looks like a great 80s action movie. I don't know anything about this movie except that there's zombies. But I'll go ahead and read the bio so you guys can kind of get a taste of what this movie's about. Detectives Doug Bigelow and Roger Mortis have just tried and failed to take down a ring of master thieves who have been targeting high-end jewelry dealers. While orchestrating a massive siege, the thieves are violently eliminated, one blown apart and the other crushed. While being autopsied, the forensic pathologist makes an inexplicable discovery. The dead men were already dead before being killed. In other words, they were zombies. With little information to go on besides the presence of a strange man-made substance in the cadaver's flesh, Bigelow and Mortis attempt to piece together the mystery. which eventually leads them to a chemical plant, wherein Mortis, true to his name, winds up killed by a hulking zombie. But who's better to fight zombie criminals than a zombie cop? This sounds very, very cheesy, and I cannot wait. This is a 4K release, you can see on the top. And what I love about Vinegar Syndrome, and not any other company does this, maybe Criterion, but they package the Blu-ray with the release. And that is such a nice thing for this company to do, because me, along with a lot of people, do not have 4K TVs or 4K players yet. And so getting the Blu-ray and the 4K at the same time, it's like, okay, I can still watch the movie, but I get to future-proof my collection. So it's really nice of them to do that. But this is Dead Heat from 1988, I believe. Yes. So that's title number 2. The final individual title is, of course, Curfew. I love the slipcover. It makes me think of like a exorcism film, but I know it's not one. But this is what the back looks like. Death row. Pretty simplistic design. I like the spine. Vinegar Syndrome has the best slipcover designs in my opinion. And I did flip over the alternate art. I love when cases are like totally black, or at least the artwork is, because it has that great feel of like an exploitation flick. But this film is from 1989, so all these films kind of happened around the same time in the early to late 80s. So I'll go ahead and read the bio about this movie. Ray and Bob Perkins are brothers whose grisly killing spree has landed them on death row. Plotting a daring escape, they break free from prison with vengeance in mind, setting targets in the form of the key witnesses against them, but particularly the judge in their trial and the prosecuting attorney. Leaving a trail of maimed corpses as they enact their revenge, the brothers finally arrive at the prime target, the home of District Attorney Walter Davenport and his wife. What they don't expect, however, is the late return home of the Davenport's teenage daughter, Stephanie. So, this movie is directed by Gary Rennick, who also did Charlotte's Web. So, it's definitely an interesting career of him, going from this movie, which is his first movie, all the way to Charlotte's Web eventually. So I'm excited to watch this. It's a nice looking release. It's a home invasion film. You get some justice going on, some revenge. But that is not the last release for January 2022. That one goes to The Forgotten Jolly Volume 4. I am so excited for this one because if I remember right from the website, because on the back they don't have like the description or anything, they Vinegar Syndrome said that for this release they had one theme in mind, which is sex, or the sex gialli genre. So the titles that come with this is Arabella, Black Angel, The Sister of Ursula, and The Killer is Still Among Us. So I'm going to open it from the top. I love this box set design. A lot of companies have been doing that lately, such as Severin has been doing that a lot. Arrow has been doing that quite a bit too, I think. Try and get this out of the thing. But these are what the individual titles look like. You get Arabella, Black Angel. You get The Sister of Ursula, lots of nudity, so I can't show it too long. And then The Killer is Still Among Us. Again, amazing artwork. Giallos have the best artwork. Sometimes. But I'm going to go through and read each of these biographies. This is for Arabella, Black Angel. Beautiful Arabella is an insatiable nymphomaniac with a crippled writer husband, Francesco, who is unable to pleasure her. Instead, Arabella searches for lovers in illicit dens of debauchery, betting an endless array of men. However, when her husband discovers her having sex with a stranger in the shed, Arabella panics and kills the man, only to discover that her sudden act of violence arouses creative inspiration in her Francesco. Covering up the crime, Francesco asks his wife to return or to further explore her sexual fantasies and report back on her experiences. Unfortunately, Arabella's lovers are subsequently visited by someone else, a vengeful murderer who violently castrates them. I'm very interested in this. It's from 1989. I don't know anyone in this movie except Valentina Visconti. I feel like I've heard that name before. When I do the review of this, I'll make sure to research her. The next movie is The Sister of Ursula. And the bio reads, timid and reserved, though mildly psychotic, Ursula and her lusty sister, Dagmar, along with Dagmar's drug-dealing friend, Filippo, have arrived at a beautiful seaside hotel in order to locate their estranged mother, to complete their obligations in regards to an inheritance. But shortly after their arrival, they become embroiled in a web of terror as a black-clad mystery assailant begins murdering other guests with the most unusual weapon. I am nervous to find out what that weapon is. But this is a 1978 Giallo film, right in the heyday of Giallo, so I'm really excited to get into that movie. But the final movie is The Killer Is Still Among Us from 1986, so late 80s, kind of going off into the tail end of the Giallo era. Christiana is a college student who is studying criminology. After becoming intrigued by a vicious murder and mutilation of a young couple on a secluded lover's lane, Christiana begins her own investigation into the slayings. As she gathers clues that she hopes might lead to the killer's identity, she begins to find strange parallels between her unassuming boyfriend. And when the killer strikes again, Christiana becomes increasingly afraid that she is, in fact, living with a depraved sex killer. I don't know anyone in this movie either, but that is the three titles here in the Forgotten Gialli Volume 1. I am really excited that they are continuing the Giallo box sets. I think the Giallo genre is one that is really fun to study and to research, because they all have your typical tropes of the black-gloved killer, of the murder mystery, awesome soundtracks, really stunning visuals, all of that. So that is all of the titles for this month of January. You can see it here. Pretty awesome. So with all that said, the next part of this series will be me individually going through each release and reviewing them. They're not going to be in any particular order. I'm just gonna grab one and just go. So, of course, the Forgotten Gialli, I will speak as a whole. I will not go deeply into each and every movie, mostly just giving reactions. So, that is all for now. I hope to see you guys later, and let me know if you guys got these releases too, and what you think about them. Thank you all for watching.